Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jaylee. This is JLeesCorner. This is my kind of sort of late review for Married to Better the Reunion Part 3 for this season. I am so happy it is over, so let's just get started. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel to become a whole JayBird, dun 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 dun, and all that goodness and stuff. Do not forget to like the video. Okay, like the video either on your way in or on your way out. Also, you can comment in the comment section. Hit that share button to share it on your social media, on your Twitter, or on your Facebook. Do not forget to relax, relate, release to center yourself and everyone around you. Also, inhale and exhale because it's the right thing to do. Follow me on social media at J_Lees_Corner. It's down below in the description box, but also you see it right there. I am off work today, was not feeling that well, so I'm like, let me get this review done. So look real plain face. You know what I'm saying? Don't judge me, judge yourselves. But let's get into this episode and let's hope that StreamYard does not play me, okay, and have my video skipping like it's been doing for the past couple days. Anyway, so we see the men sitting around, chit and chat on stage or whatever. I feel like, look, this did not need to be a three-part reunion at all. It should have been a two-parter, okay? That's it. They spent too much time to me on Scott and Contessa's confusing as a marriage when we didn't need that because we can all see they are both confused. Anyway, Scott brings up Scott lied about having a life coach. He said the reason he did it was because he didn't want it to feel like Contessa was the only one who cared more about the marriage. So he wanted her to feel like he had a life coach longer than her. He's been childish and immature. I'm like, do it matter? We know he a liar. We know he lied. We also know him and Contessa have issues that they refuse to walk away from. So I'm like, why we keep focusing on the lies that we see he's telling? I'm confused, okay? But he also brings up how he told her after filming that day at the house that he really did not have one. So Contessa knew the whole time that he was lying, okay? Now, this is the thing. Even if she knew he was lying, it was because he told her. I feel like he alluded to him saying it wasn't true, but I don't think he ever came out and said, well, baby, I'm lying. So I'm like, it's foolish. Okay. Now backstage, Contessa and the ladies, whatever, she say how he keeps changing the story. Okay, so if he keeps changing the story, then he never had one at all. Okay, and to me, that is what he's saying. Scott is a liar. Yes, Contessa, you see that. Either leave him, be with him, and shut the fuck up about him being a liar. But I feel like this whole season, this whole reunion, we have been dragging back and forth and back and forth. And Scott's a horrible person. And Scott is a bad husband. He is a very, very bad husband. Contessa is also a bad wife. You want to know why? Because they're married to each other and they should not be. Okay? They should not be. Contessa should leave Scott. Period. And I'm like, y'all really made it a three-part reunion just for that. Because let's be clear, not much happened this season. Like it really did not. And the reunion should not have spent so much time on Contessa and Scott. A two-part reunion. Come back next season with the same cast. I don't want to bring everybody back. Joy can still be boring. Okay, Quiet can still be single. Okay, Anita can still be new. I'm saying bring them all back, but bring back an actual storyline. Like bring back some stuff. Like I'm like whatever. So Kieran, Anita's husband brings somebody for him. He's confused, okay? And it's confusing because Quad says something just because Contessa would not say it, okay? And somebody, either Contessa or Scott, need to set the record straight. I hear like I'm sitting there listening, and I'm confused. My damn self. I'm like, Karen, I like you. You have common sense. Both Contessa and Scott are saying completely different things that confuses everyone watching. Okay, it's like we have to use our imagination to figure out what's true and what's false. I'm tired of it. Now backstage, Heavily also brings up how it did seem confusing. Okay, because it seemed like Contessa was saying our marriage is over. I was announcing the end of our marriage, so I see why Scott came out. I said that too. I said Scott thought Quad was saying Contessa has now made the decision to no longer be married at all. So I was confused, heavily saw too. It's all a confusing ball of what confusion, okay? Now Contessa then brings up how she and Scott both have a timeline to when their marriage will end or whatever, how, they have until her birthday next year. And if things have not gotten better since then, they won't be married. But since they made that agreement, nothing has changed. So you, okay, well, fine. But let's see. I don't know when her birthday is, but if they still together after next year of her birthday, I don't want to hear shit else about Scott being a bad husband or being a liar or being a cheater, because you know these things and you chose to stay. So get out my face. Okay, now Andy brings up the separation paperwork. The fact that she went off to school and she said when she went to school they were separated, and how they put their house up for sale at the same time of them filing the separation paperwork. And Scott said, we all knew about the paperwork. We had that discussion. However, we was going to bring that back. Okay. But again, that was 2 months ago. So the reason I was surprised when Quad said it was because that was 2 months ago. And I thought we had moved past that, but I guess we had not. Okay. He brings up how for him, we were not separated when she went to school. Okay. We were very much so still a married couple. And I am very much so not cheating on my wife. We have a monogamous relationship. No one believes Scott. No one does. But again, I don't believe Scott or Contessa. All I believe is they have a bad marriage. That's it. I don't believe either one of them is being more truthful than the other. I think they both is living in la la lands in their own heads and just want us to come with them to cuckoo land. I don't know why though. Anyway, he brings up as far as the house being for sale, that there's no longer a for sale sign in the yard. With Scott, does that mean it's sold? Or it's off the market? Backstage, Contessa brings up how Scott canceled the sale and would not return any of the calls from the realtor. Oh, okay. So we then see all the couples come out to have a conversation. I'm looking like, I guess so. Kieran, they were, this was to discuss like COVID and everything that happened over the pandemic time frame or whatever. Now Kieran brings up how, for them it was stressful because, he's a surgeon. So he could not work at all. And so they didn't have any money coming in. They was building a house. It was very, very, very stressful. And that's also a reason as to why the budget for their house went over, because again, it took longer than expected to finish the house due to COVID. So that was their stress. Eugene brings up for him, he always felt some type of way when he would see one of the doctors or someone say, hey, we all went through this, because that's like saying all lives matter. And I'm looking like, what? How? What's that connection? Okay. He brings up how in the ICU and the ER, they saw the worst of COVID with dying patients. And no one is saying that isn't true. No one is saying the doctors on the front line did not have it the worst. I think people's point was everyone went through this and it was hard on everyone for different reasons. Okay. He brings about he was distant from his family because he was getting him COVID, and how at one point he had to save somebody. He had to jump on a lady's bed to put her on the vent to save her life, but she ended up dying the next day. So we see emotionally and mentally and probably physically and spiritually as well, Eugene had a very, very, very hard time during COVID, but so did other people for other reasons. Okay, he was seeing it face to face. We get that, but let's not make it seem as if someone else's stress level or mental health issues or their depression because they can't go anywhere is any different or not as important as what he went through. Again, everyone did go through COVID in separate ways. Some not as bad as others, of course, but people still had a hard time. And I like how Jackie brought up how it was hard for them in labor and delivery because you had to separate parents from their kids, because of COVID. So again, it's a thing of, she said each person in their own profession had it hard in one way or the other. And I think that's what everyone kept meaning by we all went through this in different ways. Toya kept trying to make it seem as if, she had it so hard because of Eugene being an ER doctor. It's like, that's true. That was y'all across the bear, but that does not mean somebody else did not also have it hard too. Okay, let's move on past that. And they get on Quad, saying, or Quad heavily, saying that Toy Eugene had to beg, borrow, and steal to get their house. Now Eugene posted this screenshot. Eugene posted this tweet saying, as far as beg, never done that. Borrow is called a mortgage, and that's what grown folks do when they buy a house. Too bad some can never get past underwriting. Still, if you have proof, call the law. Married to medicine. I agree with Eugene. Um, Quad has a tendency to say what she wants to say in retaliation, okay, and or as a response to what someone else said. And you take an aim at Toya, you took aim at Eugene, who ain't do shit to you. So, for me, I felt like he had a right to clap back on that. No one here knows their finances. Okay. Now, do we think they had to do some things to get the house? Probably, but like he said, borrowing is a part of getting a house. It's a mortgage. Okay. I don't believe on Nanelle Green Earth that Quad paid for her new house in cash. Okay, I feel like she probably also has a mortgage. Okay, so I feel like to make it seem as if, well, you did it on your own. Well, okay, that's fine because you don't have a husband. But Toy and Eugene, who we've seen build up to doing things, that's what people want to do. You do not want to make it seem as if working towards buying a house makes you less than somebody else. Okay, and Quad aggravates me in that vein. Now, when Heavy brings up how, for her, she respected Eugene because when he had an issue with what she said, he went and talked to Damon about what Heavenly said to voice his frustration in what Heavenly said. And so Damon then checked Heavenly. Heavenly got checked, quieted down or whatever. Daddy said, don't do that no more. And she then apologized to Toya. I don't mind that. I think if you have a relationship with um, someone's husband and the wife has said something about you, I think it's a respectable adult thing to do for the men to have a conversation. So that way, one man's husband is not going to, somebody else's wife to fuss and fuss and fuss. But also, let's keep things truthful. Eugene rarely even likes this, fussing with the women. So I'm not surprised he did that. At the same time, considering the fact that Hadley and Quad said these things, I would not have had an issue if Eugene spoke back directly. As I was saying, since Damon wasn't there, it was cool that he did what he did. Now, Haley then brings up out for her. She finds it disrespectful if a husband speaks to another man's wife in anger or out of frustration. They should talk to the person's husband. Curtis made a great point in saying that, so first of all, that's unfair because y'all are the ones who want to speak about the husbands and say crazy stuff to us and about us, but y'all don't want us to be able to respond to what you're saying to us. That's bullshit. He brings up how, y'all want to kind of be treated like a man, but y'all don't want us to respond to y'all. That's bullshit. Eugene brings up for him the issue is the content that ladies sometimes discuss are couple things or whatever, and they should be mindful to not include themselves in couples issues, meaning Quad. I agree. I do feel like you should not be able to say whatever about somebody's husband and then not want them to respond to, because my thing is, if you have an issue with Toya, talk about Toya, something for Toya, but to include the house situation with Eugene, we know because Toya don't have that house mortgage is in Eugene and Toya's name, so you can't say something about her without me saying something about Eugene. But I'm leaving that be. Now, Quad then said how she did say the whole beg, borrow, steal comment in retaliation to Toya going at her about that small ass town, no, that bullshit ass townhouse apartment that she's in. And I'm like, girl, I don't care. Quad is holding on to that one comment for their life, and I don't understand why. Quad, go do something. Go be something. Go be, if you want, look, if you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, wake your ass up and pay attention. This is a dumb, repetitive argument. We know that you did not live in a bullshit apartment. Who cares? You have now bought a nice mansion. Live there. Be jolly. Okay, it's bullshit. And for her to say, "Well, I don't mind. I'll fuss with a guy. I'll go toe to toe. I can handle myself or whatnot. I'm saying I don't care. And if a man wants to involve himself in women's business, I'll buy him a skirt. Eugene said, make it an expensive one. I feel like She's saying that the men should not get involved in the women's issues, but you will get involved in couples issues and then expect for them to like not have a response. You can't do that. And that's Quad's problem. She feel like she can do whatever she wants, okay? And if someone is like what she said or how she said it, that's on them. But if they do the same thing to her, she's an issue. You have an issue with Toya about a little comment on a live and you then made it a whole storyline. Get out my fucking face. Okay, get out my face. They get on Scott and Life Coach. Look, they fuss about is it a lie? Which one is a lie? You know what I'm saying? Did he have a female coach? Did he have a male coach? Did he have no coach? Who cares? He lied. We know he lied. He's saying he lied. So my thing is, if he said he lied, he never had a coach. I'm at the end of the day, he lied entirely about a coach. So it doesn't matter. But not only that, Contessa ain't left him. So fuck it. Okay. When Contessa then brings up how she does not want, because they asked Karen, no, Heavenly asked Karen what his opinion was because he's like, fire movement situation. And Contessa then said, well, Karen, no, I don't want you to catch the wrath of Scott. You know what I'm saying? Because Scott feels like he's backed into a corner, he will kind of lash out. So I don't want anyone catching the wrath of Scott. Scott then said, well, I don't want anybody thinking I'm like a violent, person because I'm going to like lash out. I'm like, the way she said it, it did sound like that, but I don't think she meant it in that way. But I got how it sounded coming out because Anne's like, yeah, the wrath of Scott. I'm like, see, watch the words we say because white folks sometimes take it to a different level. Anyway, Karen's point was like, I'm not even worried about him coming at me. I can handle myself. But at the end of the day, it's all confusing. This whole day, this whole thing between Contessa and Scott is all confusing because they both have two different stories about what's going on. They both give out two different narratives, and they all the cast it's two different perspectives from two people, and neither of them can agree or disagree on what's actual or factual. They just keep giving their versions of their truth, and it's a whole ball of monkey shit. And no one wants monkey shit thrown at them for a whole season. And contestant Scott has been tossing monkey shit at us this whole time. And I'm like, get out of my face. I'm done. I don't care. Okay, now they get on Scott having a photo of the lady in his phone, giving him a facial. He say, well, no, I had it in there because I had it before and after photo of the facial. Okay, and so that was the point. The girl gave me like a little discount. Oh, but was it free? He said, no, it wasn't free. Again, Scott's lying. Scott's a liar. Contessa knows this, and Contessa has not left him. So guess what? We don't care. Okay, we do not care. Leave it be. Leave it be. So they both say how they just both trying to work things out in their marriage. That was the whole reunion. I didn't care about nothing else. I didn't care about the little jokes. I didn't care about Heavenly saying the quiet don't have no man that loves her, no kids when she was in the car with Funky Dineva. The rest of this shit was a wash. Okay, a whole wash. Quiet bringing up at the end the whole apartment comment again was bullshit to me. Quiet was out there looking for a woman that no one needed. This did not need to be 3 parts. So I'm going to end here. I hope y'all like the whole reunion review that I did. I did part 1, 2, and 3. I am now about to watch Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, see what that's going to give, and I'll have a review up for that later. But do not forget to like this video, comment in the comment section, and as always, subscribe to my channel. Until next time, peace.